There were riots earlier on in the 60s and in the 50s, but we'll touch on those later. Right now, we're just looking at the progression to where we are now. So we have to fill in a little bit of how we got here in the first place.
Yes.
So now, we finished with a sense of community that our fathers and our mothers had during their time. They had to have it. Otherwise, survival would have been impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still see it in existence now, or has it dissipated? Where do we see our communities as they are now?
I think that is a very good point there, Sam. I think that having been gone through our experience and our and expectations, and because of the way that we were treated and the hostility we face in the UK, we kind of gelled together in the community spirit, almost in a very imaginary way,
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, we had to do it. I think as people, I think the economic angle will come in here, because as individuals in the community begin to buy their houses and progress begin to seep in, there seems to be, in my view, an impact on wanting this sense of community anymore, because the way a lot of people saw it was that, oh well we don't need that anymore now, because there was incremental progress here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my house, I've got this, my children, whatever.
We have arrived.
So we've arrived in some respects, so I don't really need that. So I think that people begin to see themselves different once they begin to get a taste of British success, so to speak, in terms of material success, so to speak, and also educational success. The community began to fracture, and then there was a time when you had the Caribbean community, arms in arms, fighting racism, fighting fascism,
Yes.
fighting everything. Then as the progress come and the government began to respond with lots of different programs and so forth, you find that when the progress came, then you had the islandism begin to raise its head. Then the Jamaicans will want to assert the Jamaicans, the Bajans, the Trinidadians, and then the insularity really come to bear. And the onset of independence also reinforced that as well. Because don't forget, when they came, they were still under British rule. But when the independence asserted itself, that too had a certain impact on that as well.
But as you say, did the islandism begin to separate the groups in a way that they were patriotic, nationalistic, or is it just, I come from that island, because why are they going back? They're still here.
Hello viewers, welcome back to this immigration program here on Ailtv. As you know, this is part of a series of programs that we are having on Ailtv to just educate you viewers on immigration law in the UK, because we feel this is quite a relevant subject, especially now that the government has been bringing about a lot of reforms. Last time we talked about the changes, well, some of the changes that have been introduced by the government recently. But today we're going to move on to actually talk about applying for leave to remain in the UK. We're going to do this in stages. We're going to look at different categories of visas that people can apply for. So today we are looking at the private life rules. Yes, we're talking about these rules. And we're going to discuss who's eligible under the rules and what they can do to obtain leave to remain on the basis of their private life. Just to give you a bit of a background to the private life rules, they are fairly new rules because they were introduced in July 2012. Before that, what we had was the 14-year rule, which provided that if a person has lived in the UK without valid leave for 14 years, they can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So a person would become eligible for indefinite leave to remain after living in the UK illegally for 14 years. It could be part illegal stay and part lawful residence. It could be a combination of the two,